Once upon a time he was sitting on a throne, diamonds, Birkenbacks, that pink palace home. But oh honey, the empire cracked, from Bougie palettes to clearance racks, Gucci shades to cow print boots. Now it's Temu trash in dollar store suits. Jeffree, oh how you've slipped from classy queen to bargain trip. Horseshoe boots, Sephora's halls. Now you're hawking lip gloss at outlet malls. Remember the vault to velvet case. Now it's plastic junk with zero grace. From blood sugar hype, a beauty czar, to knock off lashes in a Temu jar. Cashmere dreams turn polyester seams. From champagne baths to Temu mean. You built a castle out of gloss and shade, but karma came knocking and the empire decayed.
Jeffree, where did it all go? From Hollywood Hills to Wyoming. Your star has fallen, here's the gap. All that's left is a tangle rag.
I mean, I don't even need to have ads on my videos. I actually pay YouTube to be here. They don't pay me. I pay them. I actually thought this was a sample at first. I did not realise they were this small. I thought that was crazy. I didn't know about, like, I was like, really? It's like the size of my finger. I did find that strange. I thought that was peculiar that it was very, very similar. I thought that was peculiar. I know that this cannot be the lipstick that everyone is raving about. Are they? Oh my god, that is disgusting. It doesn't smell safe to me, and it doesn't smell like something I would put on my lips. I personally would not use this lipstick. That's scary. That's really scary. If we go over to mine and give them a rub. See, there's not really, mine don't really come off that much. Mine aren't as rubbery, see? And to me, it's shocking that something that almost seems like it could be dangerous is out there. And this is something that I do think actually needs to be looked into professionally by some sort of governing agency, especially maybe the FDA, if this is the case, because it doesn't just smell worrying, it smells it's scary. Like, scary to think that it's going on your lips. Now, you all remember Colonel Sanders from about 6 months ago. He was doing all the videos on Jeffree bashing him. That was, his entire channel was built basically bashing Jeffree. I think occasionally it was constructive, but most of the time it was just like, I saw you snorting cocaine in the toilets at VidCon or something like that.
And I'm tired of the shadiness.
But basically, Sanders switched up and he basically sold his soul to the devil. Speaking of scandals, literally 2 seconds later, look at the DM that I got. This is a Jeffree Star Cosmetics package that arrived, and it had loads of ants inside it, loads of dead ants. I don't think it was saying anything too nasty about Tarte. He wasn't ripping into them. He wasn't calling them racist names like we've seen Jeffree do on the street to people.
You say black folk cannot wear MAC cosmetics and you splash your essay in her face.
Well, maybe she wasn't wearing the wrong foundation because I wouldn't have to splash no battery acid. I wanted to lighten her skin tone, girl.
Gerard was basically just throwing a very, very subtle bit of shade towards Tarte, saying, you know, this and that. I was the first one to do this. We see Jeffree do this all the time on Instagram. We see him attack his own followers. He's done 10 times worse than Gerard throwing like a little bit of
Let's get into these Reddit comments, shall we?
What's going on with Jeffree Star? His brand is now Temu approved. Let's get into these Reddit comments, shall we? It doesn't look like he has much of a say creatively anymore. If he does, he needs a lobotomy, cause what the ever-loving fuck is this? No other millionaires are doing TikTok battles. I work for a brand with a female CEO who's actually a millionaire, and you certainly wouldn't catch her doing a TikTok battle begging or trying to get followers to gift her. She's got more respect for herself than to act like an asshole on that app.so. I finally received my order. I got a notification that my order has arrived. I was so excited, looking all over the mail room for my usual pink box with the tissues, paper, etc. I couldn't find it, so I opened my mailbox and this was squished inside. So now we're cramming everything, picture number 2, into tiny little mailers. The presentation was a lot of what the company stood for, I thought. Very disappointing. On one of the lives, Jenny said that the mailers are something they're trying out to be more environmentally friendly. I've gotten one for a single item giveaway and one for a 2-item order. In those cases, I didn't mind, but I didn't like that the postcard got bent. Still got the tissue paper, but the presentation isn't the same. Your order looked like it definitely should have gotten a pink box. Agreed, there's no way that's more environmentally friendly. They could have gotten smaller cardboard boxes. Lame excuses. There are mailers that are made of biodegradable or compostable materials that might be considered environmentally friendly, but there's no way these cheap plastic ones are. What a bad excuse. Does he think his customers are idiots? Not to mention some of the makeup could have been damaged by the US mailing system. The boxes sort of secure the makeup in a way. Considering the amount of makeup that you got, you definitely should have gotten a box. I've been shopping from him since 2018. The quality in the clothes has went from top-notch quality to Temu approved. Everything has gone down in my opinion. I was a day one, owned every product ever made. I've maybe made 3 purchases the last 2 years. The tacky TikToks and weird gimmicky products that are made for pennies and sold for 10x the price are all ick. Jeffree was niche and exclusive. He had a loyal fan base that spent lots of dollar. I mean, good for him if that's the angle he was going for. I'm sure he's still making a lot of money, but the vibe and era we had is gone. I feel like he traded his loyal fan base for quick cash grabs on TikTok. I was a shopper like you. I can't give some of his stuff away now, until the last few years. Then, when I made a purchase, I was so annoyed after placing an order on his site, then seeing that he was sending out free gifts, free shipping etc. on TikTok but not the site. He's always been a social media person, and he adapted to TikTok and found a new fanbase willing to accept cheaply made products to sell at a higher rate, and way more people having a parasocial relationship with someone who could not give one **** about their existence. It was inevitable. It's clear his brand was in trouble after 2020. No matter how many thousands of dollars I or anyone else spent, it would have never been enough to sustain the lifestyle he wants. We all know he got greedy, sunk himself into a lifestyle he couldn't afford, and has spent the last few years quietly rebranding and carving out his own path, while many of his loyal fans still clung to hope he was going to come back with all the things he promised. You can only have so many shitty launches and terrible mystery boxes before people stop spending money. People change and grow. I willingly spent the money I spent and enjoyed the products, community, and era that will from now on be remembered as the good old days. I'm not going to shit on him for doing what most people would do. He can play it off that he loved being a small niche brand, but let's be real, he was going to go mainstream the second he had the chance. What am I supposed to do? Sit around and be mad, bro? He got himself into so much debt. I wonder if he really owned all of those cars, or if he just rented them. Never understood that. Then he bought that huge mansion, and right after him and Nate broke up. Then he moved to Wyoming and got into the yak businesses. Sorry, that never made any sense to me. I think the store was a bad idea. He should have invested his money in a decent website, an excellent customer service. Thank goodness for Beautylish. He screwed his loyal fan base. Isn't he that the truth? I think the store was just for content, but didn't work out at all. Over that's for sure. Everything he did screamed new money and unsustainable. Exactly who TF is opening brick and mortar stores when literally everywhere is ending their storefronts and switching to mostly online. I literally will not go into any store if I don't have to, rolling on the floor laughing. And then he made it so you could only get specific items if you go all the way to the one store in Wyoming. No thanks. I do believe he owned the cars because he brought them to Wyoming and had them in the store. The mansion purchases were dumb. I believe he had no choice but to sell and had one chance to take what money he had left and invest it somewhere, and he chose the yak industry. But regarding the beauty side of things, whoever the creative director and team are should be fired for the god-awful launches. The last good ones we had was Orgy and Blood Money. He had a thing out on like Indeed or one of those job sites, and basically he was describing how he needed someone to do all the things he claims to do behind the scenes for like $60K a year, and the list of things was super demanding and wild. Basically you get to run Jeffree's company and dedicate 90% of your life to it but get none of the wealth or perks. So if it's people getting paid like that to do all that, I can understand why it went downhill. I was not shocked. I also wasn't shocked to see a review from a former warehouse worker who said it's a super toxic environment and they got screamed at constantly. I think there's a whole lot more going on than any of us know. I do believe Jeffree had a little problem with, and did for a while if not still. Then there was that weird incident with that dude stealing his bags that had the baby mama, and dude went on a podcast and said he found meds at Jeffree's house, and then all that got hush-hushed, but from discussions back then I believe it was alluded to that they were meds for an STD or him being addicted to something. Either way, that would explain a lot, I guess. He had his hands in a lot of other things besides makeup before he even got involved with the yak business. IDK man, things were real weird there for a few years. Remember when he put out those Illuminati tweets and the Britney and Kanye tweet and then just never said another word about it? Which was even weirder because the whole Shane-Jeffree collab happened based on Shane's series about Jeffree where he asked about the Illuminati. I do think it's even weirder that after making the most money a collection has ever made, Shane keeps his distance. Like the money was intriguing to him, but he's kept a pretty quiet, humble life since then. He went out to Wyoming I think once to show their stuff was being sold at TJ Maxx, which is yet another lie. Jeffree has always known old stock was being sold to TJM and Nordstrom Rack. It's all very weird and very not what I want to put my money into anymore. The launches are so terrible and cheap. I haven't gotten anything from him for ages. That makeup and meat store was so off-brand, even for him it was strange. Oh, good call about the cars, maybe he leased them? I can see it being a toxic environment, who wants that? No wonder why he went through so many staff and assistants. Oh yeah, I remember that now with the baby mama drama, lol. That Illuminati thing was really strange. I for one didn't buy it. The whole Wyoming move was so out of character for him as well. I wouldn't support him anymore either. He really ruined his own career too by doing TikTok. Oh my goodness, I know. I was so excited to get that gold palette, and those matte shades are so chalky and powdery. Tired of the lame excuses as well. I miss the days of his highlighters and Supreme Frosts. Those were the best and such pretty packaging back then. I noticed when he brought out the banana fetish palette looked like it came right out of the dollar store. Shame because the formula back then was good. And why he stopped with his skincare is beyond me with certain items. Loved the lavender mist and the banana scrub. I have a distinct memory of buying one highlighter back in like 2017 and it was wrapped so beautifully and fully with the tissue paper. It made me feel so special and fancy. This is a disgrace, especially when I think of his biggest fans that collect those postcards. It should not have been bent. It should have been in a bigger package with all of those products purchased. Trying to talk to and deal with his customer service people is a nightmare. I received the wrong order. Nothing that came in the packaging was mine. I felt like a criminal by the time his customer service got done with me. Multiple emails asking for multiple pictures. I'd send them and get more emails asking for more pictures. And asked in multiple different emails for pictures of the receipt in the package. This was over a span of 2.5 weeks. Still never got my original order. So I gave up. Just got an email stating he's selling wallets now. I'm sorry, who's asking for this? I remember a few years back when he brought out rules and notebooks. I don't associate Jeffree with these tacky and cheap items. Sorry, give your fans gorgeous Supreme Frost highlighters. Not this cheap junk. Does he even own his own company anymore? He's really dropped the ball on his brand big time. His eyeglosses were divine, and it's a shame he won't bring back more of his gloss shades from years ago. He's all over the place with his launches. Honestly, I don't like the verbiage, relaunching. He's restocking a limited shade range, with addition of a single new shade. It feels like JSC is on its way out, and that makes me sad. Like this is early days Jeffree, you know? Like before he hit it big. Does that make sense? It's sad. I think he's just the face of his brand, which would honestly explain all of the TikToker begging and battles. I mean, not many successful CEOs do that. It's a shame. Guys, as always, leave your comments down below.